say what I think it said? Holy sh... Nate and I are going out real quick to do some data logging on the car, because when we throw it up on the dyno next time, it's gonna be me tuning it. Once we get a break in traffic, this will be less boring. Wow, that was some torque steer. That was some torque steer. That's how you rip a Focus ST. And we're still like 3 psi below where I kind of want to have it set. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. I wanted to show you some of the maps first, so you can get a handle on those, and then we'll put it back up on the dyno and see what your tune does. So guys, this next tune, this is gonna be my tune. This is gonna be my first ever tune. Back at the apartment now. We're just going over the data. We're just looking at these informations here that Nathan has provided to us.
Yep, so this is all the important information you're gonna be using when you're tuning. This is your boost, spark advance, throttle position, RPM, speed, everything. So your car had 0 knock retard that entire time, which really good. We're only running about 18.5 psi, but still, you don't want to see any knock retard. Here is where you do 2 poles that you guys probably just saw in the video. So we're hitting about 18.5 psi, then tapering down to about 13.8 by red line. This is your shift here. We come up. Max pressure here is 20 right after the shift, which is it just coming back onto boost really hard.
Yeah.
You got to remember it's a tiny turbo, so it spools really quickly.
Yeah, and one thing we'd like to get rid of is like violent boost spike. So like if you go full throttle and it just shoots straight up, you could read it on the graph, and if you saw in the last video, there was a graph on the dyno where you could see the torque just shoot straight up and then kind of level out. We kind of want to curve that out over time.
Yep, we want to keep it as smooth as possible so that boost comes in a nice smooth manner, torque will come in smooth, the engine will be nice and happy.
Yeah.
So up here, this is where we hit a limiter. So the nice thing about this logging software is we can actually see what limiter we're hitting, which is a combustion stability limiter. So the reason this is happening, if you look here, our desired air load and our actual air load are about 1.9. The problem is that there are 2 limiters that are set at about 1.59, 1.43. And that's based on coolant temperature. Now, because we took that data, we can see exactly what coolant temperature you are at, which is 185 degrees Fahrenheit. So now we come back in here, 180. We're limiting load to 1.43. So we're not having low speed pre-ignition, we're just above the load where low speed pre-ignition might occur.
Yeah.
So we need to modify these maps.
Okay.
And that is going to be your job. It should be noted that you really shouldn't be doing this if you don't know what you're doing. Obviously Ben's under my supervision, so nothing's going to blow up or anything like that, but you really don't want to go messing around with these numbers if you're not dead positive what you're changing. You spent a ton of time learning, both from me, online, the theory behind it, everything. So
yeah, so I have a Nathan to teach me, so don't just watch this video, get on HP tuners and, you know, start messing with your own car, because that could end up you could end up in a really bad situation very quickly, and we are not liable for anything that you may take away from this video.
Yeah.
So
yeah, anything you see in here is solely based on Ben's car. Every single car is different, so you don't want to just take info.
Don't try this.
Yeah.
It's weird that I actually have to say this. So now let's get to the garage. Alright, so real quick, we're gonna head over to the Sphinx. I need some food because I'm super freaking hungry, and I also need some E85 and some gasoline. So I do this mixture just to bump up the octane a little bit, and it just makes it a little higher. We make a little bit more power. You be careful. She's so powerful. So I couldn't show any of the actual numbers that I put in there, but if you really, really want to, and if it's relevant, you can ask me for them, and I will share, because I'm always down to share. And now it is writing. Boy.
Literally just set that on your lap for now.
Yep.
I'm gonna turn the fans on.
All right. Basically, I'm gonna be co-pilot, and I'm gonna be keeping track of the data on this here tablet. I believe she's scanning.
Yep. And once that gets to about like 172, 180, that's when we're gonna make the pull.
Okay.
And in 4th gear.
All right. You can send her.
What? What? Dude, does that say what I think it says? Oh my God.
Look at the torque curve difference.
So you're up like 80 pound-feet?
Oh my God.
Yep.
It's still dipping really hard.
Yep. Yeah, so we gotta take a look at that, but
Wow.
a little bit better.
Okay.
Better in the torque department. So now we gotta go look at data.
Okay, all right. It's data time. Take a guess what my car just made for torque. And by the way, the stock torque number is, what is it? 275 crank torque.
275 crank stock.
Yeah, and I just made it. This is my tune.
Is that stock like stock parts?
Stock like my baseline tune. Stock. This car is, all right, you know what? Let me just tell you my baseline. My baseline
There you go.
was 287 wheel torque, and now my revision I just did. Guess how much torque it makes now.
287 baseline. You did a torque revision. I'm gonna assume 320.
It makes 364. Yeah. It makes 364 pounds of torque.
Oh my God.
And 23 pounds of boost.
So what happened out there?
Magic.
Oh, the God of Thunder is trying to enter the building again.
Hey.
Get back to work. All I heard is y'all playing around out there, and now it smells like gas.
We're hitting this weird limiter. It is and it is not a limiter. It's an insufficient fuel pressure limiter, except when we hit what it says to be the limiter, the fuel pressure drops about 100 psi and then raises back up to what we had it at before. So if anybody is familiar with this, please let me know. Just leave a comment. I will respond immediately to it because this is super weird. But the car seems to be running fine. I mean, she made a lot of power, or not a lot of power. She made a lot of torque. Just that one weird issue running into. So if anybody knows what that is, let me know, because that would save me a lot of research time. Yeah, fuel pressure dipped again. I didn't think that torque was very safe having it that high. I don't know why, it just felt like it wasn't. So we adjusted the map to bring it down a little bit. So right now the torque is reading 337 torque, 264 horsepower. So same horsepower, just less torque. That's plenty of torque, almost 340 foot-pounds of torque. You know, I daily drive this car, I don't need 360. It looks like we're hitting our first issue. Like, not an issue, but like our first point where we are struggling to do something, which is make power on the top end. So we're gonna have to figure that out. Well, I'm gonna have to figure that out. All right, well, it looks like that's gonna be it for today, or at least this episode of Tuning the Focus. I will see you guys in the next episode. It should be out as soon as possible. I'd like to stick to 2 videos a week. And for the people who just joined, the little fam we got going on here, I saw all that. I appreciate the love. I really, really felt it. You guys made me feel super special. So, hi, welcome, and stick around. We will see you in the next episode. Goodbye.